So guys, welcome back to the DIY Beard. My name's Jez and I'm the man behind the beard, and in today's episode we are talking about the Gsxr and kicking off with episode 1 of the Gsxr refresh. Now if you haven't already done so, please do go and hit that subscribe button and punch that bell notification so you can stay up to date with every time I upload a video. So what do we have in front of us? Well, you have my Suzuki Gsxr Srad Srad. Now this is a 2000 plate, so this bike is 20 years old this year, and I've owned it for about 12 months. The bike itself I purchased at a Cat N, so for those that are unfamiliar with what a Cat N is, that's an insurance write-off for non-structural damage. So basically this thing's been written off because it's been crashed, and the insurance company, based on the cosmetic damage, have decided to write this off, which in this day and age is quite easy to do. You know, paintwork at a professional paint shop can cost you 600 quid and upwards to repaint an entire bike. OEM fairings can cost you 300-400 quid quite easy, and on a bike that's £1,000 plus, you know, an insurance company is just going to call it quits really and write it off. However, that's bargain time for me and you guys, and we can pick something up as lovely as this for nice and cheap. Now this was the first bike that I purchased after passing my Mod 1 and 2, and the reason I wanted to purchase something like this is I've always kind of really had a soft spot for these bikes. My dad had the 90s style superbikes as I was growing up, and it's just what I remember from my childhood and one of the reasons why I got into motorbikes, and it's just a pleasure to own. Now, I've obviously done a few things on this bike since I've had it. We had to really just to, one, keep it up to date with the MOT, and two, obviously it was brought as a Cat N, so there were a few things we needed to do to get it back on the road. I'll talk you through some of those now, and then what I'm going to do as well is talk you through, as part of the Gsxr refresh, what we're going to be doing. So a couple of things I did when I purchased the bike was I changed the front screen, mainly because this one looks a hell of a lot better, and you guys know I'm all about making the bikes look a bit cooler. Main reason though, the original screen that came on it might as well have been black because it was scuffed to hell and you couldn't actually see through it. So I needed something that looked better, and just managed to come across a black double bubble screen. I also rebuilt both front calipers. Those of you that have got S-Rads, you'll know these brakes suck. They suck big time. The rebuild helped, nowhere near perfect, but what do you expect? This bike's 20 years old. The XV's 15 years younger than it, and then brakes are better. These just, I have no idea what went on. A lot of people do convert them to Nissans, but I kind of want to keep this as stock as possible, and we'll get onto that in a minute. I also had an MOT failure on the fact that both fork seals were absolutely pissing with fork fluid, so we decided to change both of those, and we rebuilt the forks. In fact, I brought a second set of forks because the original forks were pitted. We painted the lower forks black. We polished the upper stanchions to get them back to normal, and then we did a full rebuild kit on top of that as well. New seals, new oil, internals, you name it, that front suspension's pretty much rebuilt. And then while we had the wheels off themselves, I changed the front and the rear wheel bearings, that's the one. I did replace the mirrors so that they were both stock. I then dropped it again, and so broke this mirror again, hence why we've got this gimpy little thing on there at the moment. I'm classing that as I've done something to it because I did, and then I had to put it back again. Down this side, so the main damage that I purchased was all down the right side of the bike. You can see a little bit of it there. However, the brake itself was all bent up, and he'd actually used a bolt through the brake lever itself to sort of make a little footrest. So we replaced that all together. What else have we done? Nice little point on my part. Haha! It wouldn't be a 90s superbike if you didn't have a little sock over your brake fluid reservoir. We did put some really cheap LED indicators on it, mainly because the ones that came on it were broken. However, we need to replace those because water has got into this one. It should look like that. However, it looks, you catch there, like that. It's got water in, it's all brown, it looks crap. We need to replace that. So, what are we going to do going forward? Well, I'm going to strip this down completely. Not taking the engine out, I'm going to leave the engine in. This thing runs sweet as a nut. There's nothing I need to do engine-wise, I think. Just bodywork. So we're going to strip it off. We're going to take all the fairings off, repair anything that's cracked. There is a few scuffs down here. Another one here where it's been dropped, so we'll do some body repair. There are some gouges in this side here. I think there is a small dent on the tank somewhere. So we're going to strip it all back. We're going to take all the decals off. We're going to repaint it exactly the same colour. I'm not going to mess about with the colour at all. I think this looks great as it is. Don't get me wrong. We're obviously going to do a few subtle mods. But I think this bike looks fantastic how it is. And you don't see many of them on the road in this colour. As you think of a GSXR, you always think of the white and blue version. I love the black. It's mean. It's aggressive. I think the decals work fantastic with it. So that's the route we're going to go down. However, like I said, we're going to put a few tweaks in there. And if you guys have got any suggestions about mods that we can do to this bike, please let me know. Hit me up in the comments below and I'll explore those options on there. Things that jump out to me is, obviously, we need to do something about the mirrors. Not sure whether I'm going to keep the mirrors on the front of the bike or whether I'm going to do bar ends. I'll have a think about that as we go on. Like I said, we definitely need to replace the indicators. I want something a little bit sleeker, so we'll see what we can come up with on there. Rear chain and sprocket, I need to change that. I want to keep the Renthal sprocket though. I do really like that. And I potentially want to get a gold chain. Other than that, we're going to try and keep this bike as stock looking as possible. So that's pretty much the plan for everything. Now, I'm not 100% sure on when I'm going to get paint match paint from. I'm going to do it aerosol wise and I'm going to do it DIY so you guys can come along with me on the journey. What I do need help with is if anybody can recommend a company that I can get the paints from, that would be fantastic. Just so I can get OEM paint. And then as well, what I want to try and do is I want to try and keep all these little factory stickers. Do you know what I mean? I just think it just adds a little bit of something to it that those are still on the bike. So if anybody can let me know where you can get them from, much appreciated. And that's pretty much it really, guys. I hope that you're going to enjoy this series. I'm definitely looking forward to getting my teeth in this bike and giving it a bit of a refresh. I love painting. I used to do it years ago for a living. I used to do work in a body shop, and I really, really miss it. And so it's definitely something I'm looking forward to doing, and I'm looking forward to keeping you guys informed and along this journey with me. That's it really for this episode. I'll leave you with a few more clips of the bike on the outro, and I'll catch you in the next episode where we start to get to grips with this bike. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you again soon.